Hello everyone. This is my project related to CI/CD pipeline, which reflects the changes in the real time. So this is basically my portfolio website, which is hosted on shivam.foo. If I go and show you your blog section, this is blue color self-hosting. This blog, the text color over here is blue. Now let me go into my VS Code, and my code is running here. I've run this command npm run dev, and this is the local instance. Now if I go in blog, you can see it's blue color. If I go in here, it's blue, the text color. Now if I go into my code and change the color to pink, I'll save the file. As you can see, the changes are reflected in here. If I need to refresh it, and here also the changes are reflected. Now let's say I'm satisfied with the local development changes which I've made. I will stop the Nextjs server. Now I'll do git add. I'll do git after I commit it. So basically it runs a pre-commit script. What it does is it will build the Nextjs app and create a Docker image for me. So it takes time. So now if I go on this port, local port 8000, in the blog section, as you can see, this code is being updated within the Docker image. So I can verify, let's say if I'm satisfied with the changes and everything looks as expected, I'll enter yes. After I do it, it also deletes the images that it has created locally, so we have no junk left. I'll do git push. Now if I go on my GitHub, this pipeline runs. What it does is basically builds the image and it will push to Docker Hub. It takes about a minute so to do it. As we can see, the workflow is completed and it's successful. Now I'll go on Docker Hub. What it does, it basically pushes the image to Docker Hub. As you can see, the image has been pushed to Docker Hub a few seconds ago. Now after a couple of seconds, the image will be pulled by the remote server using Docker Watchtower, and it will rebuild the image with the new updated changes. As you can see, it's still, the color is still blue. If I refresh this page, it has not pulled. It will take some time. Yeah, as you can see, now the image has been pulled. If I go in here, it can take time. So as we can see, this means the image is currently the Docker Watchtower is taking down the containers and rebuilding it. Yeah, see, as you can see, now the changes have been reflected on the actual website. So this is pretty cool, how you set up a pipeline from how the changes are easily reflected within a minute. So understand, so this is the visual representation of the diagram. To get a better idea, this is my local development. After I make some changes in here, I push the code to the GitHub, which pushes the code to the Docker Hub, and the Docker Watchtower on the remote server will pull the latest image from the Docker Hub. Please make sure the Docker image needs to be public, the repository, and as you can see in this diagram, when a client is requesting for the particular website, we are using Cloudflare tunnel. It has a lot of advantages like protection against DOS and DDoS attack, and also I'm putting in a remote VPN server for as an extra layer of security. And I've hosted my project on my own Raspberry Pi. Also, as I'm using my Cloudflare tunnel, I don't need to expose my public IP address, so I'm safe. You can also host this on EC2 instance or Google Compute Engine or DigitalOcean, any VPS of your choice. And now let's say if I zoom in inside the Pi, this is what the internal structure looks like. So here in the host file, I've stored the Docker Compose file and the Cloudflare tunnel credentials. Make sure you keep it secret and don't expose it, or else anyone can spoof your tunnel. This is my Docker Compose file, which runs all the containers. This is app image 1 and app image 2, for example, which are pulled from Docker Hub. I'm also running my Cloudflare tunnel inside a container because it's easy to manage, and it just pulls the base image rather than making changes on the host machine. The Docker Watchtower is a pretty awesome tool. It will pull the images from Docker Hub as soon as it's updated. I've also written a blog. I'll add the link in the description. If you have any questions, feel free to mail me. I'll put in my mail ID. Thank you. This is the actual Raspberry Pi 4 on which my project is hosted. This little tiny guy is gifted by my professor, and all the Docker containers are running inside it. The Docker containers containing the actual app image, the image of Cloudflare, and the watchtower. So I'm also using VPN. So this is pretty cool. It's pretty reliable. I SSH into this and I transfer the files, and I just spin up the container, and boom, we are ready to go. Reason why I recommend using a Cloudflare tunnel is because it provides out of the box protection against DDoS attack. As you can see, someone attacked me on 25th September and made 4,000 requests, but because I was using Cloudflare tunnel, it blocked the IP address. The attacker was from Germany. As Also, Cloudflare caches most of the requests for you, so that can save load on your server. And another benefit I have used is use geofencing and block the request from everywhere except United States and India. uh, Other option you could do is simply use a Google Compute Engine. This is a free tier, or leave a link on how to use the free tier. And the third option, the most easiest option, is to use the out of the box services. You can directly use Vercel. It has pretty generous free tiers. You can host unlimited number of Nextjs projects, and for database you can just use Supabase. It is just MySQL server hosted for you in the cloud, and it has other services like OAuth. This is your third option. So option 1 is to host it on Raspberry Pi. Option 2 is to host it on compute on a Google Compute Engine, and third option is to use out of the box services. But just make sure you use Cloudflare tunnel in the middle.